The topic of how we women need to make ourselves visible and make our voices heard so we can influence the decisions made in our companies and in our societies that impact our lives has always been a relevant conversation, has always been on the table. And it's not an easy conversation to have for various reasons that we will explore in this video. My name is Cristina Muntean. I am the founder of Vornica, a company on a mission to triple the number of women CEOs in Europe by 2030. And I am shooting this series of videos because I deeply believe in the mission of Equal Pay Day, the conference that will take place in Prague at the end of March, between the 31st of March and the 2nd of April. The conference is organized by Business and Professional Women Czech Republic under the strategic leadership of Lenka Šťastná, a woman who is an absolute role model of how to drive strategic and systemic transformation in a society. So why are we women having such difficulty in making ourselves visible? In my experience working with women for the last 13 years of my practice, I realized three things that prevent women from making themselves more visible. The first one is, I called it the spell of likability. We want to be liked. Well, we want to be liked under any circumstances, right? We want to be liked by everybody if possible. We want to be liked fast. Why do we want to be liked? Because when we are liked, we feel safe. And feeling safe has been for us women a deep systemic pattern. Throughout our history, when women became and made themselves visible, usually they were attacked and overpowered with physical, raw strength, and they lost their property, they lost their sons and their children and their spouses, and they lost their lives. So we still have deep embedded into us this need to stay safe rather than go out there and say, this is what I believe in. This is what I think. This is where I think we should go. And please listen because. So instead of doing that, we actually go and we map who is out there to like us, whose likeness we need to attract. And we fall under the spell of likability. And instead of nurturing our voices so they're heard and they become influential, we spend more time on who should like us and why. The second reason is what I call the spell of operations. So it's very tightly connected. But again, throughout our history as women, our value was very tightly interconnected with what was done at home, right? How clean our home was, how tasty our meals that we prepared were, how well-dressed our spouse, how educated our children. So these outcomes were very much attached to the value of being a woman or being a good woman, right? And until today, we tend to put an overemphasis on operations, on organizing things, on volunteering to do things, even when we don't have real time for it, or we do it at the expense of our own health and well-being. So the spell of operations means that we naturally tend to put more emphasis on operations as opposed to making conscious space to stop, breathe, and take stock of the bigger picture. And it doesn't matter what that means. For each of us, it can mean something different. For some of us, it means that I take an hour a week to just draw where I am right now and what I need to do next. Or, what kind of conversations I need to have this week. So I manage my life a bit more intentionally, or my career, or my team, or my organization. We are so prone to dive into operations first, to turn on our emails and to dive into it and to get things done fast because we want to come across as being good, professional, likable. You see the interconnection between the two. And the third one is what I call the spell of location. So we also tend to have a preference for a specific location and also for more in-person interactions. I keep on hearing that nothing compares with in-person, an in-person meeting. And I want to challenge that. I want to challenge that. The reason I'm challenging that is because I'm absolutely convinced that women come with a with a level of emotional intelligence that has been more, even though unconsciously, but is better trained thanks to our socialization than the level of emotional intelligence that is average in our society. So we women come with this higher level of emotional intelligence, even though it is not consciously processed. And then when we embrace the power of technology that enables us to create value and to work from anywhere, we are able to liberate our lives, to be present for our kids, for our spouse, for our aging parents. We are able to live life on our terms while creating a maximum of value for our employers and for our clients. So the spell of location says there is nothing comparing to in-person interaction. And in-person interactions are wonderful, wonderful when they're done clearly, mindfully, intentionally, and with a high level of emotional intelligence and intentionality. But if we just come together to be in person, to speak on top of each other, and to have this kind of a chatty conversations because they energize us, it does nothing but fall into a pattern of female socialization. Again, nothing bad with it, as long as we make it mindful, intentional, and we don't close the space to the possibilities offered to us women by the new world of work. And in this new world of work, technology and remote work liberates us. It enables us to experience live work integration without having to lose our health, family, or sanity. So the spell of location, the spell of operations, and the spell of likability are the three things that hold us back from making ourselves more visible. And I want to challenge these spells, and I want, together with you, to dismiss them, to dispel them, to debunk them. So you really find the energy, the time, and the intentionality to become as clear in your communications and as intentional in your communication as you can be. Because in your intentionality lies your influence and your potential for growth in your career, in your business, in your life, and also lies your capacity to live life on your own terms. And that's what I want from every single woman watching this video. In the next videos, I will address 5 levels in a corporate hierarchy where you can make yourself visible. We will start with the entry level where you're a specialist, and we will finish with the level of the CEO. So stay tuned and keep watching the next videos, because I'm sure that you will find some interesting pieces of advice that may serve you well in your career, work, and life.